So this is the Flashforge AD5X, which I think I've had for about 5 months now. I got this on its first release, and it has a bit of a curious history, which we'll go into in a minute. But I was sent this to review it and give it a go, and of course I said yes, because I thought it was quite a fascinating machine. Now, if you watch the channel, you know that I print a lot, and I actually have 2 3D printers. So my 3D printers, well, they're workhorses. They're running all of the time. It's actually a complaint about the videos that people can hear the machines in the background printing. So I print a lot. Now, I normally print in one colour, or rather, let me say, I have normally printed in one colour, because to be honest, with 3D printing, it's not about the time that the printer takes. That doesn't bother me because, they're so reliable. I just leave them alone. I'll print overnight. I don't care. And I get very, very few spaghetti malfunctions. They just print, and I just get used to them doing that. And so, I'll set a print going, I'll make a cup of cocoa and go to bed. And in the morning, it's all ready for me. So it's not about the time that they take. It's actually about the contact time that you have with them. But you spend quite a reasonable amount of time setting them up, making sure the filament's in there, making sure the plate is clean and it's sticky enough for the actual thing to stick without it being too sticky that you have to prise off the covering when you take the print off the bed. So setting it up, the contact time, working with the actual machine is actually the time I consider it takes. Because once it's running and printing, although it's taking printing time, I don't have to do anything. I'll go out shopping, I'll mow the lawn, all kinds of stuff. I don't actually have to stand over the thing. And that, for me, is one of the big things about a 3D printer. If you're making a component and you don't do it on 3D printing, your contact time's huge because, you're tooling the thing, you're working with the tools, you're working with the piece, and you're at it all the time. With this, once you've drawn it, got it set up, you leave it to run. So there's 2 times: contact time and production time. To produce the whole thing, which includes the time taken to print, is quite a long time. But the contact time is really quite short, and that really matters with something like this. Because although I haven't been doing a lot of colour printing, because this encouraged me to do it, and I've started producing multicolour models like this, where the parts are all one colour, but the whole model is assembled to be a multicolour model. Now, I do that for deliberate reasons. I do that because of the way that this thing actually does its colour printing. But once I put these 4 rolls on and I enter the colours into the actual slicer, it just gets on with the job. If I have 1 roll, I can still do it. I just pause the printing with a bit of G-code, swap over the filament, put a new colour in, and restart it at the pause. But of course, I have to put the new filament in, and that takes time. Actually, in terms of the contact time with the printer, a considerable amount of that time is spent unfeeding, refeeding, and getting it going again. This thing does that automatically for you. Once it detects a change of colour, it will automatically change the colour, and so I don't have that contact time. Because on the other printer, I hang a kilo roll, and by the time it's getting down to the edge of the kilo, I have to put another kilo in. With this one, I've got 4 kilos at any one time. That's a lot of filament. And so I found this actually surprisingly useful. Now, about the only time that I'll do a single print when the single print part has got 2 colours in it are things like dials. See, here's a machine that I'm working on that needs a dial. It needs 360 degrees, and I've put a marker dial on that that's printed in 2 colours. Here's another example. This is a clock face dial where I've printed the back in white and the numbers have been printed on the top in black. That kind of thing is trivial, easy, simple, but a real eye-opener for me because it's making a big difference in how the actual thing looks with such a simple task. Now, I do it that way because when it's printing a colour, if it prints it in layers in that direction and prints on top, it has 1 colour change. If I were to make this half black that way, half black, half white that way, it'd print the white bit, stop, change to black, print the black bit, stop, change to white, and so on, each layer as it grows up. So there would be an awful lot of time wasted and material wasted. Take a hell of a lot longer to do that. Again, I guess it doesn't really matter, but it would use a lot of material because every time it has to change, it purges it. And it gives out a little bit of poop in the poop chute of wasted material. So my choice is to just print on top of things. I tend not to mix them up. But that printing on top of things and being able to swap the colours without having to muck around with the settings, I think it's just awesome actually. And I've used this a lot and found this tremendously useful. What I'm going to do is go through quickly how I actually made this section here, which is the dial that I need to show the degrees when that is being turned. So here's the dial gear loaded up into the slicer software for the Flashforge, and if we zoom in a little bit, you can see the actual dial that I want to make black. So there's going to be a 2-color print. The gear itself, which incidentally is herringbone, is going to be in white, and the dial is going to be in black, so it shows up really nicely. And to do that, what we need is color painting. So if we click on color painting, it'll pull up this screen. Now previously, if we look over here on the filaments, you can see that into this drawing I've loaded 2 filaments. One is the Flashforge Basic White, 2 is the Flashforge Basic Black. If I want to change those colors, then I click to edit the presets. If I want to remove or add a filament, well, it's up there and remove or add filament. All we're really going to do is change this so that we can actually have that dial print in black and the gear print in white. And it's actually pretty easy. What we want is height range. And we also want fill. Now, there's a lot of different things that you can get, but fill works really well. If we go into height range, we can highlight the bit that we want right there, and we can connect fill. So you select the color that you want, highlight the range that you want. There it is, our image. We click on that, and suddenly the whole thing's black. If I want to actually make it deeper black because these edges are white, then obviously what we're going to do is height range and then move down that height so that it makes the whole thing black. Now, when we've done that, obviously we can just proceed how you normally proceed. Add some support. There we go. And click Slice Plate. Export that and we're ready to print. Right, to print it, I'm on home. Press that one, which takes you to the print screen. It's actually on the USB stick because that's how I like to work, and there it is. Highlight it and it'll come up. Click Next. Now we want 2 of these colors, and I've already preloaded them as per the previous video. I want the background to be white, which I set, remember, in the slicer. Now I want the actual lettering to be in black, and we're ready to print. So just press print. And when it's printed the white, it stops, swaps with the black, and prints the black. So I've used this machine for multicolor, multi-layer, and I've also used it for multi-materials because this is an Archimedes drive, and in it, it works on the Wolfram principle. There are some stepped TPU rollers. So at the same time, I've printed multi-materials on this, PLA, carbon fiber, and TPU. And it's responded really well for me. I've had no real issues with it. And of course, I've had this as a first machine. I think I got it in about February or something like that. And I've just been using it as a workhorse machine and never really thought about it. But here's where the curious things come in. They wrote to me and asked me to do this update video to describe my experience with this machine. And my experience with the machine has been positive, really. But they brought it out and they stopped it because they said there's some issues with it. And there's one little niggly issue that I noticed, and it's these cardboard rolls. When you use a cardboard roll, it does tend to have a little bit of twist into it. I think it wears out the inside of the cardboard or something like that. And that little twist once snatched the filament and spoiled a print, and I keep an eye on it. It happens mostly when the filament starts to get down to the last sort of 3 or 4 turns of filament. When it's loaded like this, no problem at all. When it's a bit lightweight, then it can actually pull it. So I tend to keep a closer eye on it when it's lightweight. But I wouldn't say that that was an issue. I would say it was a niggling thing, really. But this is something they took on board, and they've redesigned the filament holders in the new release, and I'm supposed to get a set of filament holders to replace these ones, but they've been redesigned. And apparently, people were having issues with the nozzle clogging. And they did write to me, actually. They wrote saying there are issues with nozzle clogging. There we go. We'll send you a new nozzle. I never had them. I've more or less ignored it because that's not actually done that. But they've redesigned the nozzle apparently. So the new nozzle design, and they're giving a 0.4mm nozzle along with this machine to help with those clogging issues that other people say they've had and I've never experienced. But that's what they say. And they appear to be the two big changes. There have been some software updates for some odd things that happened on certain people's machines, but I tend to keep this up to date. If it tells me there's a new one, I'll redo the firmware just because it tells me to do it, and I'll do it, and so I've not really had an issue there either. So it's a huge mystery to me why they stopped it and did these redesigns. And now they're bringing it out again. I believe it's the 9th or 10th of this month it comes out, which is why they wrote to me and saying, would I do an update of what I think of the machine and where I am with it and what I use it for, which, I'm quite glad to do because I think it's a good machine. I mean, I think it retails at something like $399. There's a coupon available at the moment where you answer a survey that they've got, and I believe it's 4 or 5 pages, and they give you $30 off. And there's something to do with a lifetime supply of filament, if they give you in the first 100 people or something like that. You'll have to check the website. It's something like that, where you get a lifetime supply of filament with it. So this is grand launch going on again. And of course, that's why they've asked me to do this. But, I haven't taken payment to do this. They gave me the first machine and I get to keep the machine, but that's the only basis I do these things on, because if I think something's worth knowing about, then I'll do a video on it because I think it's worth knowing about. I never ask for money for the videos. I ask to keep these machines, certainly, but I don't ask for money for them. I just do them because I think they might be worth doing. So nobody's paying me to say this. They did give me the machine. I'm quite happy to say it because, honestly, the last 5 months I've used this extensively and basically had no real trouble with it. I don't understand why they stopped it. And I don't understand why people are having problems with it. But I understand that they are. And the company has addressed those issues, apparently. And I'll be getting the updates of this. But I've had nothing but a pleasurable experience. I mean, it's not like eating a bowl of chocolate cake covered with custard and ice cream pleasurable experience, but it's not been a fight to get it to work, and it's done some pretty interesting things, and it continues to do those interesting things. So I'm quite happy to agree to do a where I am 5 months later with this machine kind of video to let you know that, well, I've had no problems. I quite like using it. I think it's a worthwhile machine. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helps you when you're making your decisions about things. Thank you very much for watching, and please do remember to like and subscribe.